Hello and welcome to Blockchain Gaming World Daily with me, John Jordan. So the big news that everyone's been looking at today is this new NFT project called Meebits. So this is launched from Lava Labs, the people behind CryptoPunks, and purely because CryptoPunks have been such a big success, people have been kind of looking forward to kind of what's next from Lava Labs, and Meebits is it. And obviously, this is a lot more thought out than CryptoPunks, which sort of were the kind of accidental, experimental kind of art project that kind of went enormous. And now I think the cheapest CryptoPunk sells for whatever it is, $30,000-$40,000. A few of them have sold for over $1 million, some of them for well over $1 million. And Meebits is kind of the attempt to, I guess, kind of take the things they've learned about NFTs and blockchain, and what people want, and why people trade these things, and actually make it something a bit more useful. So it's been interesting with CryptoPunks. Obviously, none of these are CryptoPunks. Obviously, aren't a game item at all. They're just a static 24 by 24 pixel kind of face, mainly human, but other kind of weird zombies and aliens and monkeys and apes and that sort of stuff. And because they're so popular, people have sort of started being building on top of them. So people have done sort of versions of them, and people have started making kind of animated 3D versions of them and stuff. The interesting thing about Meebits here is they're building on the foundation of CryptoPunks, which everyone kind of understands now. But now these are proper kind of 3D characters, and I mean, they kind of look like this. So they have that kind of blocky sort of Roblox, I suppose, type persona. There's some sort of nice kind of stuff in there about the trading, which I'm not really going to go into. But I think what's really interesting here is when we think about things like how NFTs and blockchains work together for sort of open economies. One of the big issues with things like interoperability for games and open kind of platforms, or I suppose use the horrible term metaverses, things like Decentraland and stuff like that, is there's no, they kind of sort of have the same standard. So you use ER721 as the Ethereum standard, I suppose, is the thing people use, but kind of everyone in terms of kind of artwork style, everyone sort of has a different approach, and no one company is big enough to sort of impose themselves on the system. So you don't really have a universal avatar. So lots of companies sort of are trying to do that. Not so much in the blockchain game space, but in the kind of certainly the celebrity sort of avatar world space. So we see the company Genie's doing a big hookup with the Flow blockchain and Dapper Labs and trying to do something down there. But there's kind of lots of these avatar sort of companies, and they have sort of moderate degrees of success. But at the moment, no one's sort of come up with the kind of universal avatar system that everyone uses, because once there is that, then everyone will just integrate it. Obviously, all the content providers will have to integrate it. It'll be a bit like, Facebook wins out the social media battle, and everyone sort of uses Facebook in terms of consumers, at least. At the moment, we don't have that, but it's interesting that Meebit, because of the power, I think, of CryptoPunks, kind of has the potential to do this. So it's interesting, obviously, that these are 3D, and you've been seeing this little guy here doing this animation. So, CryptoPunks, kind of nice as static artwork, I suppose, but not very useful, apart from putting in your Twitter feed, which obviously a lot of people do. But these ones, you can kind of see that there is. So quite how this works, I've no idea, but it says all Meebit owners can access a T-Pose OBJ file that can be imported into most standard modeling 3D packages and animation software. So basically, each of these, although it's not a these are what they look like, the NFTs, with the arms down. A T-pose is the standard kind of 3D animation character pose where they stick their arms out like they're flying. That's the T-pose, and that's what you would do then to sort of rig the character and animate it. So with this character, what they sort of seem to be suggesting is this is the start of a sort of universal avatar character. Now, obviously, the issue is there's only 20,000 of these, and obviously a lot of people will own multiple, will own more than one. So this isn't really a universal avatar system for the masses. This is for the kind of privileged blockchain elite. But you can imagine that these will be seen as sort of so powerful that people kind of kind of maybe game developers, or maybe certainly things like kind of Decentraland and other sort of metaverse systems, it would be quite powerful for them to allow these avatars into their platforms, because obviously the people who own these are pretty powerful in the blockchain system, and if these characters are walking around in your kind of metaverse, you know, that's kind of a vote of confidence in what you're doing. So you can kind of see this being adopted. Obviously, there'll probably be ways of kind of people will kind of try and do kind of knockoffs or copies of these, I suppose. But you could certainly imagine some of these things. Maybe it'd be interesting, like for Sandbox. Could Sandbox integrate these? I mean, they kind of look like they would fit in a Sandbox world. Maybe less so in a Decentraland. But I think that they stand out in some ways, but equally they're not so weird that they would break an illusion. They have that kind of blocky thing, and suddenly you can start to see these things are going to start to, will come alive now when people are adding animations and all that sort of thing. So it is interesting. I don't know whether this is going to happen yet. Obviously, these things have only just launched. But I can start to see how this would sort of provide a system for that kind of universal avatar system. And you could even also see, could you? I don't know. I'm thinking ahead now, but you could also imagine people who own these then sort of sell. Could you sort of fractionalize them and then allow people to have multiple kind of access to these, even if you didn't own the full NFT, even if you just owned like a hundredth of it, or sort of. I don't know, maybe that really is kind of blue sky stuff, but you can kind of start to see that this might be sort of the basis for building a system. That's the way I'm thinking anyway. Let's have a quick look at some of the crazy prices. Let's have a quick. So let's head to OpenC and see what's going on here. So this is just, I don't know what this is sorted by randomly. We can kind of see these are the some of the really rare ones. So we have the robot ones, or the ones sort of with we've got a VR visor, but I think they're called robots. We have some skeleton ones. We have these ones. I think they're called visitors. I think they are supposed to be. I don't know if they're sort of stroke between zombies and aliens, aren't they? I don't know. They're super rare. There's four weird ones where you can see inside their heads and they see their brains. I can't remember what they're called. Elephants. We've got some pigs as well. They're quite cool, like the pigs. And then obviously humans, male and female humans. So this is what's going on. We see some of these interesting prices already. So these are offers coming in. Some of these, going for. That one sold for 390. I mean, these are very rare. But there we go. I guess with blockchain, it's always a difficult balancing act between making these things super valuable. I mean, the people behind it, Lava Labs didn't really make much of CryptoPunks, although they're selling a few of their last CryptoPunks via auction with Sotheby's. But they've made, I think, is it 90 million selling these off, so they've done okay out of this kind of second wave. But I do kind of think. It will be difficult to imagine lots of vendors offering kind of cool avatars that are interoperable. There needs to be some sort of it'd be interesting to see. Some people will try and force it, I suppose, with some sort of business proposition. Some people will kind of try and do it by kind of soft power. I guess this is like a soft power sort of play. But again, the big issue here is only 20,000 of these NFTs available. So how can you do something that millions of people can own? I guess that goes to something a bit more like the Blankos ones, where they are not each of the avatars is unique. Not each of the characters, I should say, is unique. You have kind of multiple versions of them with different serial numbers. Unfortunately, Blankos works on a totally different blockchain. It works on its own blockchain, so quite how interoperability worked across that. Problems to be solved, but I think this sort of thing does go to show the power of avatars and people, even though these again are fairly simple characters, they do have an appeal that seems to be, as much as anything, is universal. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. This is Blockchain Gaming World, where we are kind of deep into what's going on and starting to kind of look ahead, see some of the trends as this sort of stuff really gets to mass market. So looking forward to that. Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe to the channel and see you again soon.